everyone, welcome to the second episode of my training diaries. I just started my long run on Saturday. I will discuss last week's training along the way. Let's go. So every time when I run here, I compare it to the place I lived for the last 9 years. And then I realize it's just insane to run here in the morning. Right now I'm running on a fire trail road. It's about 5 kilometers long and it's slightly uphill, so it's not super steep, but it has, I think, in total 125 meters of elevation, so it's a gradual climb, and I love this kind of roads because you're not completely out of breath, but you're still pushing yourself a bit on the uphills. So on these Saturday long runs I really dedicate myself to the Ultra Trail Australia and training for that. So I mainly try to take it easy because when I'm going to run the 100 kilometer, I'm not going to run as fast as I'm used to, so I kind of have to get used to running at a slower pace, stop for a minute and eat something, because those are all things that I will do in the race, so I want to prepare for every aspect of it. This morning I even had this nervous feeling that I usually have before a race. So I really try to replicate the race on these Saturday long runs. Wednesday I did a tempo session. I didn't do a specific interval session like last week, but just a half marathon up tempo. Also on some uphill roads and downhill as well, so not flat. So that was pretty tough. For the half marathon I averaged 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Which was pretty good considering the elevation. I think it was around 250 meters in total. So yeah, that was a good session, although it was quite tough, but I was happy with that. And then the day after that I had my favorite type of training because I felt like shit. Maybe that sounds weird to you, but when I think about the most important reason why I run, it's not because I want to post on social media or to run really nice races or to run personal records, but I mainly run for the mental challenge. So from that point of view, the days that you don't want to run are the best because it's the biggest challenge for your mindset. So I couldn't get out of bed, my legs felt heavy. When I started I was questioning myself, what the heck am I doing? But after a few kilometers I started to enjoy the fact that I was not enjoying the run, if that makes sense. So what I also started doing this week is some short barefoot runs. I also did this last year when I was in Australia, and I'm not doing it because I want to transition to barefoot running completely or something, but just because it is really nice to run barefoot in addition to regular running. You suddenly realize how many muscles you have in your feet, and I think it's also a type of strength training because you use all those muscles which you use less when you run in cushioned shoes. So 17k into the run. It took a while to find the rhythm, but I think I found it a little bit. I had pretty tired legs from last week. I think mainly because of the elevation gain and the tempo session I did with some elevation gain. But now that I'm started, I'm warmed up, which is not too hard because it's really hot. It was 24 degrees already when I started at 6:30 a.m. So my muscles were already kind of warm. But yeah, so far so good. Let's continue. So yesterday I came across this quote. I don't remember the author, but it said something like, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. Now that quote made me think about running. Because when I'm running, I unplug for hours every day. Just here by myself, no music, no podcasts, no nothing. Just by myself with my thoughts. And usually, before I run, when my head is a mess, I decide to go for a run, and then afterwards, everything just falls into place. My head is not a mess anymore because I unplug myself for hours. I don't think minutes is enough for me. Just enjoy that aspect of running, I would say, that you are able to unplug from everything that you are involved in. All your social networks, your job, all your responsibilities. Not to run away from them, but just as a way to refresh yourself and gain some new energy. So just finished my run, 31 kilometers with around 500 meters of elevation. It puts me around 145 kilometers for the week with I think 2000 meters of elevation in total. So pretty solid week. Yeah, let's continue next week with training for the Ultramarathon. See you then.